here with another episode of Is It Woke? The thing where we go through this game made by a person using the list of games that people have deemed unfit for consumption because they have too many lesbians, and we try to guess if the game from the title is on that list or not. I probably won't make like a huge series of this because I assume the list ends at some point, so at some point we'll have seen all there is to see. And also I don't want to take all the fun away from you at home to carry on your way. But let us launch into another volley of guessing just from the title. So Steins Gate is anime-ish. Steins semicolon Gate. And it's somewhat modern anime. I think there are a lot of women who do a lot of fighting. Let's say that yes, that's woke. Oh, it's overtly pro-LGBTQ+ messaging, features a story about gender fluidity. There you go. Major character switches between male and female over the course of the story. Homosexual romance. Boom. Easy. Modern anime, pretty girls, sword fighting, pro-LGBTQ stuff. Done and dusted. We're already got 1 point ahead. Let's do this. Monster Prompt 4. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's gotta be a pretty game, right? Overtly pro-LGBTQ messaging, pronoun selection, including option for they, them, multiple LGBTQ+ characters, including non-binary characters. Take that, Monster Prompt 4. I know whether you're woke or not, and you are. They made 4 of them? Damn. I thought there were like 2. Rune Factory 5. Oh, did we have a Rune Factory the last one of these? It's like a fairly long-running RPG series, but I don't know if it's like fairly long-running to the point that it's gotten all modern and there's a bunch of lesbian sword fighters running around, or if it's like, it's something that's been around since the 90s and it still feels like it's from the 90s. Let's say, no, it's not woke. Oh, it's somewhat woke. Subtle pro-LGBTQ messaging. The original Japanese release did not allow homosexual romance. The international release and a retroactive patch for the Japanese version now allows it. Ah, there you go. There I see. I was kind of on the money there, and then I had the sense it was a bit older than that. Echoes of the Plum Grove. If the title requires any thought, it's a visual novel, and so it is woke. Overtly pro-LGBTQ messaging, pronoun selection, and option for the player character to be non-binary. Again, having this in a game, unacceptable. If you put an option to be non-binary in a video game, it means the government is all DEI. This is how that works. Cause and effect. It's simple, people. Anyway, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. That's gotta be woke, right? Yes? Somewhat woke. Subtle pro-LGBTQ+ stuff. Some female NPCs will romantically proposition the player character even if she's female. Homosexual romance marriage options. There you are. Again, it's like a fantasy RPG within the past 15 years or so. Most of them are, well, maybe not most, but many of them are fairly pro-LGBTQ+. Atomic Crops, well, again, if the title requires any thought, I refuse to believe it was comprised by a bigot. Suddenly, pro-LGBTQ+, homosexual marriage options, optional polygamy. We've been getting a lot simpler reasoning this time around in this episode already so far. In the last episode, it's like 3 sentences worth of nonsense that I couldn't understand. Like forced diversity inaccurate to the time period for, what was it? Assassin's Creed. Werewood, again, that sounds extremely gay. Overtly pro-LGBTQ+ messaging, multiple LGBTQ+ character options, including non-binary, gay, or bi, or asexual. Metro Last Light Redux. This is like a zombie game, right? It's like all you do is go around fighting infected monsters. This isn't capitalized. Metro Last Light, this is part of like the Metro series, right? It's gotta be like mostly just gruff white buzzcut dudes shooting zombies, surely. Ah, good. No woke content. There we go. We're all safe. No scary men kissing men in this place. Pajama Sam's Sockworks again. Pajama Sam, like point and click games from the 90s. They don't seem to have enough to be woke. Flat Eye. If it's got a title that requires any modicum of thought, it has to be woke. Overtly pro-LGBTQ+ messaging. The NPC Hanul is non-binary, uses she/they pronouns. There ye is. American Arcadia. Again, alliterative. It requires wordplay, therefore it is woke. Overtly pro-DEI and overtly anti-Western society messaging. See the full review for spoilers. I don't think I'll do any such thing. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I'm pretty sure there are some. I haven't played it, but I've seen bits and pieces, and I'm fairly sure it's got a reasonably diverse cast of characters, right? Overtly pro-LGBT+ messaging. The character La Diva uses she/her pronouns, but has a goatee and appears to be trans. There you are. Expedition Agartha. Sounds like a very modern day anime strategy game or something like that. Although maybe I'm just thinking that because of Agarthia in Three Houses. That definitely has the sound of a bunch of anime girls running around with guns and kissing each other. So it's woke. Overtly pro-LGBT and overtly pro-DEI messaging uses masculine and feminine body types in place of biological sex during character creation. Out of place diverse NPCs. What the heck does that mean? Expedition Agartha sounds like a fantasy game. I mean, I obviously don't know that, but it's How could it be out of place? Hang on, I gotta look this one up. Okay, I was wrong that it's anime girls running around kissing each other with guns. But it's like a fantasy game, no? How can it be out of place? Does it take place in a real environment somehow? A perilous PvP world of ancient myth and magic. How could it be out of... What does that mean? Out of place. Diversity. How do you know what the racial division, which is I assume what they're talking about, of Agartha is? Or whatever. Dominion! It's a nice, simple title. It's kind of hard to get a read on that. But it could easily be a very thoughtfully chosen title, or it could also just be some random, like, Age of Empires clone from the 90s or something. I'm gonna say yes. Ah, bugger! It was one of your dad's good old-fashioned, wholesome, family fun military takeover simulator. Death and Taxes sounds too clever to not be. At least a little bit gay. It contains overtly pro-LGBTQ messaging. Look, the gay people like their wordplay, okay? I don't make the rules. All humans are referred to using they them pronouns. Feud! Again, sounds... No, that was another Age of Empires-esque type dealio. Togaino no Chi, Lost Blood. Is that what Togaino no Chi translates to? Okay, we've been on a streak of 2 no's in a row. There's no way it's gonna be a third one. Contains overtly pro-LGBTQ messaging, features multiple gay characters and romantic interactions, homosexual romance options. I don't actually know if, because I assume they've taken the list of games from the spreadsheet and then just taken a list of a bunch of other games. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if the list that we're playing on here is equal parts woke and not woke. I assume it's more woke than not. Why would you make if you were going to complain this hard and make a whole list, why would you include all the stuff that doesn't bother you? It seems like all you want to do is complain. I want to see if I can get my score up to 20. Freddy Fish 5 featuring Mess Hall Mania, the case of the creature of the Coral Cove. Once again, usually these good old-fashioned 90s kids point-and-click games are totally chill. Half-Life 2. I haven't played the Half-Lives. There's a woman named Alex who's like fairly kick-ass in it, I think. This might be considered DEI enough to be worrisome. As for like... But I know Half-Life is also considered like such a fairly like classic game that no one could have anything to object to about. Not even upsetting bigots, so it's kind of hard to... I kind of for some reason can't picture there being any like LGBTQ plus characters in it or anything. But then I haven't played it. Let's just say no. It was good. Contains no woke. It's good. It's just good storytelling with no gay people at any point in the process. Good. Fabulous. Lauren the Amazon Princess. Well, on the one hand, the use of the phrase Amazon suggests she does like fighting and stuff. On the other hand, this sounds like very much like the kind of thing that would come out in the 80s, and it's just like a woman in a thong prancing about, stabbing up people in a sort of gratuitous manner. It does sound like something that could have been from the 90s. I'm gonna say it contains no woke. It's suddenly I failed once more. Princess Farmer, that sounds incredibly gay. There's no way there's not some lesbian farmer action going on in that. As well as multiple non-binary characters mine. Frog Detective 3, Corruption at Cowboy County. That sounds exactly like something that would have come out in the past like 6 years or something. It's gotta be woke. Everything's woke these days. They got Frog Detective 2. Overtly contains overtly pro-LGBTQ plus messaging. The player character is gay. The male NPC flirts with the player and character and asks to go on a date. The end credits reveal more about this relationship. Reveal more, you say? Let me in on that. Final Fantasy, the very first? Let's see. I think the answer is no. Although then again, I don't think anyone ever refers to your characters by gender. They're all youths, right? They're sort of masculine in design in the pixel art anyway, but we don't know, so you could construe them as. But I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone who would have composed the list would have looked at it that carefully. So I'm gonna say contains no woke content. If it's the first Final Fantasy we're talking about here, Masquerada, Songs and Shadows. That sounds way too flowery. Not enough shotguns in the title. And Death and Violence. Contains subtly pro-LGBTQ messaging. A major character is revealed to be a homosexual who previously had a same-sex romantic partner. Light social commentary. I just love the phrase somewhat woke. As if the whole thing isn't like really arbitrary binary decisions about what is acceptable and what is not. That to then be like, well, it's sort of a scale, you know. The Great Rebellion. Oh, I don't know. That's another tough one. That could easily just be like some random text-based adventure game from the 90s with not enough, like, groundwork or character to even come close to containing something socially progressive enough to upset people of this designation. But then again, it could totally be some indie visual novel or something from the past like 3 years. Let's say yes. More like a text-based something from the... It sounds old anyway. Let's just search it. The Great Rebellion game. A politically non-conform run and gun. What the fuck? Zombie Exodus sounds like a zombie shooter game of some kind. Ah, it's got subtly up. What? Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable. Star Wars The Old Republic. That's gotta have some gay characters in it, right? Multiple retroactive updates added many minor LGBTQ+ characters and interactions, including homosexual flirtation / romance options. There you have it. So Summit Woke seems to be the destination, especially if they retroactively tried to make stuff a little more diverse or what have you. Unrailed! I think, did we maybe already have that one? This one in a, previous one? No, I don't think we did. Isn't Unrailed the little minigame thing where you go around placing train tracks for the train? I don't think there's enough like story and character in that to be woke. Good, good, good. Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter's gotta be gay characters and stuff in Monster Hunter games, surely? And you can play as big strong women with big strong hammers. But then I guess they're not like really story driven, so there might not be time for, but you can like, it's gotta be. Okay, right. I was imagining it would be the kind of game that would say like body type or something like that. Nice, we're rocketing towards score of 20 here. All right. No body. That's gotta be something about gender dysphoria, right? Contains overtly pro LGBTQ+ messaging, features multiple LGBTQ+ characters, including a trans character. The player character is bisexual. Another! Interactivity, the interactive experience. Okay, that's like clearly some kind of like parody or like spoof type indie game of some kind, I imagine. I'm kind of picturing something like very rule breaky, like the Stanley Parable. Would something so witty and focused on being spoofy have time to establish anything that could really distress sad bigots? Let's say yes. I mean, on balance. No, it isn't. Contains no woke content. Note, Ether Games is a self-identified queer developer. You can read more by clicking on Tell Me More on the following page. I see. I assume this note is from the person who made this game and not the people who made the original list. So that's kind of hilarious, actually. The original people on the list were like, didn't look into the game enough to realize it was a queer developer, or didn't care about that for some reason. You can be gay as long as the games you make aren't, or whatever. Azure Striker Gunvolt. We had this one last time. Haha, I get to cheat. Lords of Infinity. That's gotta be some old, like idle RPG. That's just like a bunch of people with staves throwing numbers at goblins and stuff. No way it's You can romance the NPC Marcus, who breaks it off with you when he gets married. Another character reveals she is female after 2 games of appearing male. Come on! Lords of Infinity, you're killing me here. Colony Ship, a post-Earth role-playing game. Well, that sounds like it's got, like, environmental impact criticism, so I imagine that's why it's not woke? Nuts, maybe it's like some old 70s space thing. Probably not 70s. King Arthur Legion 9. No? It sounds like it's got to be some kind of, again, Age of Empires-y, like tactics, fantasy or medieval type thing. Puzz Mix. That sounds like a puzzle game of some kind. And I'm going to say it does not have enough characters to contain woke content. Good. Saints Row. Saints Row the first? Oh, I don't know. I mean, things get pretty gay in Saints Row. And no one would deny. But the first one, I don't know. The only one I did play was 4, actually. I'm sorry to say. Although I did kind of want to go back and try some of the other ones, since 4 was very silly and a lot of fun. I gather that the first 2 are not quite as zany and off the walls as that, but even still. The first Saints Row, I sort of had the impression that the earlier Saints Rows were regarded as very like, oh yeah, they're like macho man's gang drama type thing. And I'm given to understand you couldn't even pick a female character for the first 1 or 2, maybe? First Saints Row, that's a tough one. Because by the time you're in like 4, definitely. But the first one, I'm gonna say they are fine with the first one. Overtly pro DEI messaging, the intro first is a reverse creep of female combatants. Bugger. Many diverse characters are all fighting back against their unfair economic situation. Heavy social commentary. Rats! My knowledge on the earlier Saints Rows is too low. Even the Ocean is the gayest title I've heard in my life. Major props to it for that, in fact. Overtly pro combat action messaging, many LGBTQ+ characters, heavy social commentary regarding the use of resources in the environment. There you go. Apologies to Ace Attorney. Well, there's no way Ace Attorney is not woke. Sadly, pro-LGBTQ messaging, localization rewrites Dual Destinies dialogue to be more respectful. Ace Attorney trilogy. It's the whole trilogy, right? Not just the 4th one. Dialogue to be more respectful to those who don't follow gender norms. Interesting. Subtly pro-LGBT. He calls him daddy in the middle of trial. What do you mean? In what universe is that Anyway. Come on. Score is 19. We can get... and that's an easy one. Deliria, that's gotta be an easy woke, hasn't it? Yeah! A score of 20 has been achieved. Wow, that was fast. Again, I think there's a large skew towards the majority of the games on the list being woke, so if you just spammed yes a whole bunch, your score would probably rise on balance. You know what, that was so fast. Let's go bring it to 25, shall we? I can do better than that. Deliria, again, if the title requires any sort of like etymological understanding or anything like that, and isn't just like man kill thing. 5. Blood Rampage. It's a pretty safe bet most of the time. Contains overtly pro-LGBTQ messaging, features 4 LGBTQ plus narratives. I wonder what that means. As in, like, they're just little side plots or something? Beloved Rapture. That sounds fairly forward-looking. Contains overtly pro-LGBTQ messaging and perhaps even have some Christian commentary in there. Maybe. The player character is gay. Features a story about a gay character discovering his sexuality. There you are. Another Orcan Axe. Ooh. Is it Orcan or Orson? I think it's Orcan as in, like, of the orcs. Which could easily be like some 90s beat 'em up or something. Let's say that's no woke content there. It has! The player character is a gay orc on a quest to reunite with his lost boyfriend. Oh, I was misunderstanding the context in which this game was released. That sounds awesome. What the hell? It's a pixel art Metroidvania. This is cool. It's on sale! For $1.24! I've got $1.54 in my Steam library! I'm buying it. There we go. It's purchased. And it's going on the master list of games to play at some point. Test, Admiral. We're back down at 20. Fallout 2, a post-nuclear role-playing game. Oh, the Fallouts. Fallout 2 is fairly old, and it's mostly just, like, pretty gritty and upsetting, is it not? It's somewhat woke. It's got homosexual romance options. The player character is male or female. The NPCs, Davin, and Miria can be romanced and married. That is some... That's Bethesda, is it not? That's interesting, because I assume that came out wait, is it Bethesda? Am I mixing it up? It's the same... Yeah, Fallout's Bethesda, right? Same people as the Elder Scrolls series, so I would have thought, since the Elder Scrolls 5 came out after and does not feature gay romance... Or does it? Maybe I was wrong about that, but I didn't think it did unless you modded. Anyway, I did not expect that from Fallout 2 anyhow. I'm dropping below 20 now. I should have stopped when I was at 20, shouldn't I have? King of the Castle. It's hard to tell. Again, this could easily be some, like, simple platformer from the 80s that doesn't have enough foundation for anything to bother the bigots, but then it could also be, like, an ironic title of something in the past, like 10 years or something. Let's say yes. Aha! Got it. Okay, good. Twofold. That's a very, very, very cool title. I refuse to believe that a bigot came up with it. Spirits of Xanadu. That sounds so woke. There are several clues indicating one of the people on the ship was involved in a same-sex romance. Indicating one of the people on the ship was. Oh, is it like Return of the Obra Dinn or something, like where you're like investigating a murder mystery or something? Or a death mystery? Fascinating. Rusty's Retirement. Oh, nah, surely not. That's just some like game about an old cartoon car sitting on his porch smoking. V Rising. What the hell is V Rising? Yeah, sure, woke. Uses body type in place of biological sex during character creation. The V blood carrier, Gore Swine the Ravager, is referred to using they them pronouns. Well, there you go. It's V Rising. Oh, like vampire. Oh, okay, cool. I was picturing like, I don't know what I was picturing. Oh, so it's kind of like Diablo or one of them, I guess. Well, the art is cool. Although this gameplay is not sort of my thing. I don't think so anyway. I've not played it, obviously. But it doesn't look like the sort of thing that would be my thing. All right, we're at score with 24. We could bring it up. We could bring this episode to an end right here. We could bring it to an end right here. If we just get this correct. Wizard with a gun. We could get that sweet, sweet score of 25. It actually seems like this list is a lot bigger than I gave it credit for at first. Now, Wizard with a Gun is obviously some kind of like silly, jokey game that was created, I would presume, at least in the era of like lots of indie internet games, so like 2010s. So it could totally easily have progressive ideas in it that must be stamped out so that we remain in 1920 as long as possible. Where everyone went to war and died, and women weren't real. But I forgot how I started that sentence, so let's just hit yes! Ha-ha! Contains overtly pro-DEI, overtly pro-LGBTQ+, subtly pro-communism, and subtly anti-colonialism messaging. See the full review for additional details. There you go. We made it to a score of 25, friends. Feels good. We have arbitrated over yet another band of rabble-rousing, flowery games with their strange titles and words that they prefer to be called by. I'm glad we were able to warn the good innocent people of the horrors of Wizard with a Gun and Orc and Axe, more importantly. Frankly, more for us. If the biggest don't want to play Orc and Axe, that's their prerogative, I suppose. But we'll be over here on the fun bus, where we play as a giant buff orc and go Metroidvaniing. Actually, I'm quite curious. I shouldn't even give web traffic to this, really, but how many games are even on this spreadsheet? Page 1 of 80? Holy shit, they've got 1,597 games on this list. That's outrageous. But there it is, we've done it again, and so just remember, everyone, if you are a woman who wears frilly skirts and has a sunny smile and punches monsters, call me. But no, I mean, get out of our video games because you're hurting the children. It's all about the children. And apparently, I can't get over that one that was like, forced diversity in the fantasy world. What does that mean? Agartha is a legendary kingdom said to be located on the inner surface of the earth. Well, it's in Central Asia. Why are you suggesting that? Because I assume what they're saying is only white people should be around. So what the fuck? I can't believe that. Anyway, that is all for now. The next video on the channel, if all goes according to plan, it's going to be another horror game because Chill or Be Chilled week is on currently at the time you're seeing this. And after that will be another episode of Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. So that is all for now. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hope you'll see you around. Admiral's going to be out of here now. Peace! Building design so strange like this. There's probably no reason. It's simply because it's a fine house. That's all the reason Monokuma needs. But he said Monokuma didn't design it. Who are you again? I'm Monomi. Why did you forget about me? Or must be.